Quiet forest, birds chirping. Perfect place to bro down with your bros and catch some savage blows to the dome piece. Let's learn the fun-sized story of hunting accidents. Today, and always, Fun Size History brings you compact history for your busy day. When you dive deep into the annals of history, you notice a peculiar trend. Many of the richest and most powerful individuals in our past seem to spend a good deal of time not enjoying the creature comforts of their wealth. Where were they? Out and about in the wilderness, camping under the stars, following poop trails with the sole goal of murdering the animal originators of said poop. These rich folk were gone hunting. Many hours were spent in this pursuit, largely by elite men. Women often took part as well, either hunting themselves or acting as companions for the menfolk. What gives? Certainly rich people didn't go hungry and would not be expected to put dinner on the table personally. In an age where people already roughed it on a daily basis, what made those at the top of the social pyramid forgo a warm bed, walls, a roof and stuff to just be out traipsing around in the bush? Well, there are many reasons. Let's start with hunting was a great way to display and affirm wealth and status. You see, in medieval France and England, this land was not your and my land. It was made for the king alone. In fact, the kings in those places passed what were called forest laws, which literally reserved wildernesses for the use of the king, whether that meant hunting or generally profiting off the land. These laws are even preserved in our folklore. Robin Hood, the famous outlaw, rubbed the king the wrong way precisely because he was hunting where he shouldn't have, the king's land. The children's story usually neglects to mention the punishment for this. Although the full extent of the law wasn't usually enforced, you could be mutilated or blinded for killing something in the king's forest. Basically, if you killed the king's meat, you could end up dead meat yourself. Eventually, at least in England, they amended the law in 1217 so that no one would be punished with bodily harm for hunting. So progressive, right? Until you learned that the death penalty was in effect for sheep stealing until 1832. This world, man. So when I previously described the hunting lifestyle as roughing it, it was no such thing. The King's Forest was an exclusive club where VIPs showed up suited and booted in their best finery and rubbed elbows with people they could make valuable connections with. Another reason to hunt was it was the perfect place for young, untested nobility to practice warfare. I mean, they were literally killing things. Which leads me to the most fascinating use for hunting. It provided a perfect alibi for murder. See, out of all the hobbies you could have, this was a pretty dangerous one. We're talking ancient X Games, no pads. Given the likelihood of injury in an accident, as well as being far away from too many witnesses, it was the perfect place to exterminate a rival. Let's remember that many times these kings and nobles were mere teenagers. So we have entitled adolescents with tons of alcohol shooting their weapons willy-nilly on their mission to kill Bambi. What could go wrong? Hunting was so dangerous that we actually have multiple occurrences of kings dying accidentally in fairly random ways, with no one caring to ask any questions. The historical record has plenty of gory details, which I will list now. King Fulk of Jerusalem was out one day in the 1100s with his retinue, chasing rabbits. He fell off his horse, and the saddle came down on his head, at which point, quote, his brains gushed out of his nostrils and ears. Ew. King Robert Baratheon of Westeros was gored by a wild boar. Alright, that's Game of Thrones. I know, not real. El-Aziz Uthman, a sultan during the Crusades in Egypt, also died in a hunting accident. There we don't get many details. I bring him up partly because we do hear he tried to destroy the pyramids. I mean, who the hell does that? Well, he failed. Good. People of the time and historians agree these were purely accidents. So let's say you needed a guy dead, and it would be really bad if someone found out that you did it. Like beheaded by an executioner bad. If you're looking for this certain somebody to have a little accident, a hunting excursion was the perfect crime. Imagine it this way. Hey Prince, get that boar. Closer. Oh shit. God damn, why'd you move? My bad. Huh? Yeah, I know the boar was it. Alright, I said my bad. Here's a suspicious example we have from France. In 866 AD, 16-year-old Prince Charles of Aquitaine was out hunting with his homies, and he ended up dead. How? A source of the time said, quote, while he only meant to engage in some horseplay with some other young men of his own age, by the devil's action, he was just struck in the head with a sword. The blow penetrated almost as far as the brain, stretching from his left temple to his right cheekbone and jaw, end quote. Really? Come on, horseplay? But no, same verdict. Accident. How about this one? William II of England caught an arrow in the lung while hunting in the New Forest south of London around 1100 AD. His brother Henry was there, and wouldn't you know it, Henry was crowned King of England 3 days later. Coincidence? Yeah, and the guy that shot the arrow, Walter Tyrrell, was known as an expert marksman. It gets better. Ask yourself what innocent men would do. Probably not ditch the body at the scene, leaving it to be found by some peasants hours later. Or in the shooter's case, probably not immediately sail to France, and then only once there, deny they had ever been around the king. Yeah. Same thing. Just an accident, business as usual. Mostly these incidents, no matter how fishy, boil down to a he said, with one of those he's being dead, so it was unlikely they would share their side of the story. That doesn't mean that there were no incidences of suspicion. In fact, the paranoia of being off while hunting led to one of the saddest examples of a lack of damn gratitude in hunting history. Emperor Basil I of the Byzantine Empire had the real shitty luck of getting his belt stuck in a deer's antlers, subsequently getting dragged 16 miles by the animal. His loyal servant managed to chase the emperor down and cut him free with a knife. But having come at him with a weapon, the emperor actually suspected that the servant was trying to kill him. So he had the poor guy executed the next day. This world, man. That's it for now. Remember, history isn't just dates. It's a story of you and me in different circumstances. One big soap opera, and we should learn it that way. Make sure to like this video, please subscribe to my channel, and leave any comments below. Also, check out my Patreon if you'd like to support me as a patron. Keep on keeping on.